In this video, we're going to be looking at some of the common problems that happen with catalysts, particularly the symptoms to look out for. It's one of those things that if you catch early enough, you can probably avoid having to replace the catalyst. But if you ignore these symptoms, they will just escalate. And the only way of fixing it will be to replace the cat altogether. And they can be very expensive when things go wrong. Ever since the early 90s, cars have come equipped with catalytic converters. Well, early 90s at least for the UK and Europe. Some other regions and countries had catalysts introduced much earlier, sometimes as early as the 1970s. There was a Clean Air Act in America that brought about the introduction of the catalytic converter. First of all, let's just understand what a catalyst is. It's a honeycomb inside the exhaust, and it's made up of precious metals. Now, view it like a dating agency for chemicals coming out of the exhaust. Things coming out of the exhaust are particularly nasty to breathe in and are quite damaging to the environment, but also to people's health as they breathe it in. And the catalyst is really designed to reduce these emissions. Carbon monoxide is a toxic gas, but when the catalyst gets hot, it creates a situation where the carbon monoxide combines with an oxygen to make carbon dioxide. You also get unburnt hydrocarbons coming out of the engine, and the catalyst as well reacts these again with oxygen, and instead of hydrocarbons, it forms carbon dioxide and also water, H2O. Then we've got the really nasty nitrogen oxides that are coming out of the engine. That's just a byproduct of burning stuff. And the catalyst will react these, and it will split the nitrogen oxides apart, leaving nitrogen gas and oxygen, both fairly inert gases that already make up a lot of the air that we breathe. So the catalyst is going a long way to reducing the harmful output of exhausts. A lot of people might say it's sapping performance, but car makers have made bigger catalysts. They're not the same size as the exhaust. So any restriction in flow is compensated by the additional volume of the catalyst. Some cars now come with 2 or 3 different banks of catalysts, depending on how complex the exhaust setup is. Now, the problem that we have in the engine is if unburnt fuel gets into the catalyst, it tends to create hot spots as it burns inside the catalyst. Although the catalyst needs heat to work, too much heat can actually damage the structure of the catalyst, reducing its efficiency and eventually destroying it. And that situation of unburnt fuel coming out of the engine is really what we're going to be focusing on, because that is the thing that kills the catalyst. That is the thing that we should be spotting early on. We may have a check engine light flashing up occasionally on the dashboard. It may be on all the time. Have we investigated that problem? If we download the Diagnostic ports error codes, that can give us a clue as to what's going on inside the engine and may well save our catalyst altogether. If we get a P0420 or a P0430 code, they directly indicate that the catalyst is operating below its efficiency threshold. The engine is monitoring the exhaust gases before, during and after the cat. It's going to depend to some extent on the type of setup that your manufacturer has gone for, but the engine is monitoring the stuff going into the catalyst and that coming out. And if it's outside the normal parameters, it will flag up this error code to show that the catalyst is not working efficiently. The first question then is, why is the catalyst not working efficiently? We may also be getting a P0300 or 30 whatever error code, and that can indicate errors with some of the sensors upstream or downstream of the cat. It may be the case that the cat is operating perfectly normally and we're just getting bad readings from these sensors. And they do fail, they get clogged up, they get fouled up, they degrade as they get older. A lot of heat and soot is coming out of the exhaust over these sensors, so you can't really expect them to last forever. They carry the signal back to the ECU through wires, and these wires can degrade, they can become frayed, they can cause loose connections, they can give intermittent readings, or the resistance in the wire can increase or decrease depending on weird circumstances going on inside the engine, or whether it's become in close proximity to another high voltage cable, for example. As we're driving though, even without error codes, we might notice bad smells. Now, an egg smell coming from the exhaust or coming into the car is usually an indicator of a problem with the exhaust. This unburnt sulphurous egg smell is generally unburnt fuel going into the catalyst and then burning inside the catalyst. It's quite a distinctive smell, so that's a big red flag that you've got a problem with your exhaust. Poor performance, you're probably restricting the airflow. If the catalyst structure itself has become degraded, the catalyst has become blocked up, that can just restrict the flow of exhaust out of the gases, and that can affect the efficiency of the engine. If it can't expel those exhaust gases cleanly, you're going to be down on performance. You may even notice that the catalyst part of the exhaust is glowing at night, and if that's the case, it's getting too hot. A catalyst should not be glowing. That is a sign that something is burning inside, that is getting too hot, and that is certainly going to result in the degradation of the catalyst structure. We mentioned the sensors around the engine. Now, the O2 sensors, when they're hot, as oxygen passes over them, they give a signal back to the ECU. They produce electricity or an electrical current when they come into proximity with oxygen. And if there's a situation where there's too much oxygen in the exhaust stream, it's a result of not having enough fuel, or if the readings are not what the ECU expects, it could be a case that too much fuel is going into the engine, or even too little fuel. If it's running rich or running lean, that can have serious problems in the way the engine is running. And just the signal coming from the O2 sensor, if that's lying effectively, it's becoming distorted in some way, the ECU is going to compensate by dumping too much or backing off on the fuel, and that's going to affect the smooth running of the engine. Changing the spark plugs, the coils, the electrical system that drives the spark plugs, making sure the injectors are nice and clean, can go a long way to prolonging the life of the catalyst, because as soon as we get a misfire is effectively unburnt fuel going into the catalyst, and the worse that gets, the more damage the catalyst is going to be over time. Cold starts are particularly hard on the catalyst. The engine needs to be in a closed loop system, and it doesn't reach that system until everything has warmed up and those O2 sensors are giving readings back to the ECU. So the engine will try and warm up as quickly as possible and get to that point, but if we keep running the engine exclusively in that warm-up zone, the cat is not getting hot enough, the O2 sensors are not getting up to temperature and giving information back to the ECU, and we're down to almost a fudged set of parameters the engine is working with in those conditions to warm the engine up, and that nearly always results in more fuel going through the engine and ending up in the catalyst. It'd be really good then if we can just do longer runs, even if it's only once a week or twice a week. Take the car on the long run, make sure the catalyst gets up to temperature, and that gives a chance for all the other stuff that's building up inside the engine to burn off, particularly on those injectors. We want those injectors to give a nice clean spray of fuel into the engine itself, rather than dribbling fuel in where it doesn't get burnt properly. Because the fuel is involved, and that is quite critical in the condition of the catalyst, we should also be looking out for poor running. So if the MPG drops suddenly, that can indicate perhaps we're overfueling. If there's a black smoke coming out of the exhaust, that almost certainly indicates that the engine is running rich. And also if we can strongly smell fuel from the exhaust. Now that shouldn't really happen in a modern engine. There's so many electronics and systems in the engine. Before it gets to that point, it should be firing up all sorts of error codes, and it shouldn't take a genius to diagnose that there is some kind of problem. So we appreciate that the catalyst is quite a complex element in our exhaust. We're kind of, in most regions, stuck with it through legislation. We can't remove these catalysts, but they are reliant on all the other sensors and the engine running efficiently and cleanly. And just good maintenance, good driving habits, avoiding those short trips will go a long way to preserve the life of our catalyst. And catalysts now come pretty much on everything. Your diesel has a catalyst. The petrol engines have a catalyst. They've also introduced particulate filters, and they've combined particulate filters with catalysts. They're also injecting various other substances into the exhaust stream to aid this conversion process that goes on inside these emission control devices to further reduce the emissions that come out of the engine. I'm thinking things like urea or AdBlue, which is the brand that the Volkswagen Group use, but most manufacturers have got some version of this additive that you have to top up separately to the main fuel tank. Let me know what your experience has been with the catalyst. Are you watching this video because you've got a problem, or are you watching this video so you're better informed and you can avoid those problems further down the line? I hope you've enjoyed this video and found it useful. Please could you boot the like button, because that really does help the channel get out there. If you've not subscribed as well, please do so. We don't want you missing out on all the great content we've got planned, and we've got a lot planned, and I've lined up this video and this playlist that you should find really interesting. Thanks for watching. See you in this next video.